And I'd like everyone to check your device, check that your device is set to mute so we can eliminate the background noise during the presentation. If you have any questions as we go along, please type them into the chat function at the bottom of your screen. And our moderator for tonight, the very own AASPI President Sue Brunialti, will pose the questions to Ushi as we go. Okay, tonight's guest speaker, we're delighted to have Victorian-based street shooter Ushi Grant. Now, Ushi uses photography to explore moments of urban life that celebrate people going about their everyday activities, and she loves to explore urban and industrial landscapes that are often overlooked by the casual observer. Ushi's work has appeared in Logo Planet, Australian Traveller, and Mobiography magazine, and recently her work has been included in the books Women's Street Photographers and International Portrait of the Year. So tonight's talk is titled Street Photography for Personal Inspiration and Social Change. So without further ado, are you all set to go, Ushi?
Sure. As much as I guess, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ushi. Thank you so much. First of all, let's find out where it all started for you. So how and where did you start your journey into photography?
Well, it goes back, there's a lot of reverberation going on there. It started when I was about 10 years old. I got a little Kodak Instamatic camera. I think it was 10th or 11th birthday. Always loved photography. Sorry, I've got to turn this down a little bit. It's reverberating. Yes, I've always enjoyed being creative ever since I was a kid. I used to do a lot of drawing. So getting the camera set me on my way to just basically documenting family life, pictures of a cat, all that sort of stuff. Fast forward to, I don't know, early teenage years, I saw a photo by Ansel Adams, beautiful black and white photo entitled Moonrise over Hernandez in New Mexico. And I was just mesmerised by the photo, just the lush, beautiful black and white of the image. I had a print of it that hung up on my bedroom wall when I was about 14, right next to posters of David Bowie and Angus Young of AC/DC. So I had a bit of an eclectic mix up there up on my wall. So basically it started from there. I always thought it would be cool to be a National Geographic photographer, travel around the world, take photos, but I ended up doing a certificate course at Brighton Tech, which is no longer there. It's now made way for a big housing development in Brighton there. Alongside doing that, I started working just casually for a local newspaper, the Moorabbin Standard. So we did, little stories, just local stories, going out to kinders, photographing people, for the local news stories, which I really enjoyed. I was there for about 3 years. I was offered a cadetship, which I knocked back, rightly or wrongly, because I had a daughter at that stage and I was a single parent. So working full time for me was kind of not an option. So I didn't go ahead with the cadetship. So I just kept on working casually. Then in about 84 or 85, the newspaper was bought out by the Leader newspaper group, and they moved their offices over to Blackburn, and they got rid of all the casual staff. So there went my photo career. I eventually got into hospitality, and then into the travel industry, which I absolutely love. I've been in the travel industry now for about 25 years. I love it. So the camera really only then came out for family occasions or when I was traveling. Yeah, so that was my the start and end of my photography up until a little thing called Instagram. I decided to join Instagram. I think it was about 2016. I didn't know what street photography was. I just posted things on Instagram. I was working in the city then, catching the train into the city, into work, and I would take like this image I think you can see on the screen here now, just of my daily commute into the city, and then I'd also take photos on my daily walks. Again, not really understanding that what I was doing was street photography, but and capturing things that kind of caught my eye, and one of which was people on the train, people on the street. I really enjoyed capturing life around me. Even during my travels, I was less inclined to go and see all the big sites. I just wanted to get into the markets and photograph people and get to understand what the local culture was about. So yeah, so that was pretty much it.
Wow. And so can you tell us a bit about this image? Why did you choose black and white? Was that inspired by Ansel Adams or?
Yeah, look, there was that. When I first went on Instagram, I did a lot of photography or took a lot of photos with the little Hipstamatic camera, which is an app that you get on your phone. I loved the black and white. I loved the square. It gave it kind of that sort of large format feel, but obviously not the best quality. But I just loved it. I've always been a fan of black and white movies. Loved all the film noir movies from back in the day. The Maltese Falcon, Casablanca, The Big Combo, which I think was directed by John Alton, which he does some, if you love black and white cinematography, he's the master of the black and white noir genre. So this, I think, was taken inside the train, obviously at a station. There's a lot going on. I love doing a lot of reflection work. So this was just on a morning commute into the city.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously at Melbourne Central, I can see there. Another one, again, a reflection shot through the window. That might have been in South Yarra. Don't know that you're actually allowed to be taking photos on the trains, but I think.
So are you actually on the train or on the platform here, Ushi?
No, this was just sitting on the train.
Yeah.
The guy in the oh god, this is a long time ago. He was just sitting opposite me, I think, and I love the way his reflection was obviously coming in through. It looked like it was coming in through the window, and then you get the crisscrossing of the platforms and the stairs there at South Yarra.
Mm.
So again, just an old black and white one, and I've had to grab these off because I've lost a lot of photos. Had a couple of computer meltdowns, so I've actually had to grab these back off Instagram, and they don't allow you to download them with any great resolution. This one, another one just taken on the train. I loved the way it sort of felt like you were looking into a mirror, and it kept on going. It's like one of those stacking toys.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Again, another one on the station. See, a lot of my work early on was just on my commute into work. Again, sort of not really, I guess, understanding that what I was doing was street photography. I was basically just on Instagram posting things that I saw and what grabbed my attention. I love I love capturing these quiet moments of reflection, and I tend to not go for, well, busy scenes, she says, having just shown a couple of busy scenes. But I like capturing these really quiet moments of people in their own little spaces, in their own world. This, I think, was taken in New York. Again, I love shadows, I love reflections. Again, it takes me back to those black and white movie days I spent watching a lot of telly when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Magnificent.
This one was taken a coffee shop somewhere up in Fitzroy, I think. Again, she was really sort of, just looking at her phone and totally unaware that I was sort of had my little phone there and taking a little surreptitious photo of her. I just loved the way the light was coming in through the window and the darkness behind her. And obviously I was quite attracted to her headgear there. Pretty groovy.
Yeah.
And again, I love shapes and shadows. I love diagonals, creating sort of a bit of mystery with the shadows. See, a lot of my earlier work, a lot of it was capturing shadows. And I don't know if anyone speaks Spanish, but sombra y luz means shadow and light in Spanish. This one, I think, was taken in Austria. I looked at the guy's head, kind of followed him around. It kind of reminds me of one of those old movies again, something like The Third Man, one of those old film noir movies.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think there's too many photographers that will let a person in a hat go by without photographing them.
It's fabulous.
Thank you. But I think Europe especially lends itself to really atmospheric photos, just because of the the buildings and the cobblestone streets.
You've definitely got an eye though for seeing the light, Ushi. Like your images are very tonal, shall we say?
Yeah.
With,
Thank you. And this one, I just saw her, and again, I'm fond of people with cigarettes. There's just something about it that harkens back to old movies where everybody used to smoke.
Is this Europe or Australia?
No, in Europe.
Yeah.
And yeah, so those photos are basically from my earlier Instagram days, and sort of slowly I kind of realised that what I was posting and doing was street photography. So for me, it's sort of street photography has grown fairly organically, because I do a lot of other sorts of photography as well. I do a bit of art sort of photography. When I joined Instagram, I was a moderator for a couple of the hubs, which was really interesting. Got to see lots of different images and to scroll through images as you do every week, trying to find images that caught my eye to highlight and to feature on the hubs. I think one was B&W Demand, which is still going, and the other one was Shooter Mag, which was a hub promoting the use of mobile photography. So I think with mobile photography, because it I sort of see with a different eye when I'm shooting with mobile phones, because it's not a technical, you don't have to worry about f-stops and getting it all perfect. I sort of focus more on what's happening around me and the scene, whereas I find I shoot a little bit differently when I have my real camera in hand. So it's quite interesting how having different tools in your hand can make you shoot a little bit differently. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but that's just something that I've noticed in my own shooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Excuse me, I just needed a quick drink.
Cheers, Ushi.
Yeah.
And so you started off on Instagram doing black and white work. Where did you go next, Ushi?
So then I came across a couple of lovely ladies by the name of Julia and Rebecca, who run the very fabulous Unexposed Collective. And slowly they kind of drew me into doing more colour work. So I kind of left behind the black and white, and these days I shoot a lot more colour.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm inspired by the work of Ansel Adams, because just the way that he could get all those lush tones into one photograph, from pure white to pure black and almost everything in between. But having said that, I also really love the work of Saul Leiter. Those beautiful painterly images that he used to create. Again, doing a lot of reflections, a lot of reds, a lot of shooting through frosted glass, just very painterly images. I'm also really inspired by painters like Jeffrey Smart. So again, totally different to your black and white film noir style images. But I love the work of Edward Hopper as well, another painter. Again, just quiet scenes of just urban, being still in the urban environment. And I guess looking over a lot of my photos, they are fairly quiet images. They're not, full of hundreds of people. And I know a lot of people do that and do it really, really well. And I really admire the people that shoot like that. But that's just not, I guess, who I am. So I'll show you a couple of the ones that I've been doing since. So again, this was in Melbourne. Again, I'm just drawn to shadows and shapes and humans in geometry.
Mm-hmm. Is this a colour image, Ushi, or is it?
It actually is, yeah. If you can notice her hair, she's got blonde, sort of yellowish hair, but that's pretty much the only bit of colour that was in that image, because most of it was in the shadow of the grid shadow there, and she was wearing a black suit, black shoes. I think you can see a little bit of sort of like a green sort of light going through the image there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is actually a colour image. And again, this probably not best quality, because I've had to pull this back off Instagram. I think this was taken in London. This was actually a black and white image. Love all the shapes and shadows, the afternoon light.
The way the shadow draws you into the image is fabulous.
Yeah, I think it was, you know, just the way the lead line sort of encapsulated her standing at the bus stop there with her bag of goodies.
Yeah, wonderful.
A bit of colour out on the beach. And I don't know, this dog was running around and being quite mad, and I was actually trying to get a shot of the dog, but then I noticed these other two guys, and I kind of liked the way it all sort of came together, because they all had their own little story. The guy with the surfboard, the guy with the towel, and the dog who was wanting to be the centre of attention. And just the light sort of was working for me there. So my days of starting to get into a bit of colour photography.
And do you feel like you're getting closer with to your subjects as well, Ushi?
Look, I'm not a Bruce Gill by any stretch. I think I was happy to get close to the dog. Probably not so much humans. Look, sometimes I get a little bit closer, but no, that's not the style of shooter that I am.
Sure.
This one again on the train. I just love the way the sun was coming in on her legs. I love capturing gestures, whether it be hands or legs. I think you can even see a little bit of me down the bottom there. Again, I don't think this is a really good resolution, because it's another one that I've had to grab off Instagram.
I have to just butt in here, Ushi, and say I love this one. I love the smiley face in the window. Did you see that when you were?
Sorry, I missed that.
Did you see the smiley face in the window when you were taking the image? Or was it just good luck?
See, Sue, I did get a bit closer there. She tells a lie, clearly. Look, sometimes I'm able. I think she was just staring up at something, and again, I think she was just oblivious, because I was walking around pretending to shoot a whole lot of other stuff, and then just happened to point it at her and flick a couple of off. Oops. Sorry, it's reverberating. Yeah, so I think I probably would have liked it with her head just a little bit further down, just to get a little bit more off that, off the hat, the reflection of the hat. But I quite like the chain going across her, and the way the light sort of captured the chest and her mouth.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, for me, the way that the hat has a shadow on her body as well. So
that's what, yeah.
Quite an interesting circular, I guess, shape.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was sort of wishing that she may have just dropped her head a little bit, just so you could get a little bit more shadow, sort of on her chest area from the hat. But look, you know, you can't have everything.
You didn't want to ask her, or she did?
No.
Do you interact with your subjects, Ushi, when you're
Sometimes,
on the street?
yeah. Look, if people have realised I've taken their photo, then I'll stop and have a chat. I think with this lady, I think she did end up. Sorry, this lady here. I think she did end up realising that I'd taken a photo of her, and I said, "Look, you know, I just really loved the shadow of your hat and the way you looked so beautiful in the photo." And I showed it to her, and she thought, "Oh, wow, that's really cool." And I grabbed her number, and I sent her a photo of this. So
Lovely.
yeah.
And this photo was in an exhibition, wasn't it? Was it in Street Beats?
I think it might have been in Street Beats. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think so. God, that's going back a couple of years now. That's pre-COVID, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. back in the old days. And this lady, again, the gesture, she was chatting to somebody that was sitting next to her there, and I just loved the expression, the way she expressed herself with her hands. That just told a little story, and I think you might just be able to catch a little bit of her nose in the little circles there. Would have been cool if I could capture her eye as well, but I quite like this one just because of the colour, the red and white shirt, and the way she was gesturing with her hands.
Mm. It's fabulous. I love the repetition of the circles. So the tops of the coffee cups.
Yeah, the two circles. Yeah. Do you know what? I'd never even noticed that before. Good on you, Sue. It's funny because I'm always one to say you should really print out your images, because we have them all, so many images on our computer that mine never saw the light of day until Instagram came along, and I thought, oh well, this is a great way to share, excuse me, photos. But it's interesting, when I've had photos printed, I will notice something so glaring that I didn't notice when it was on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, the tiniest little speck of dust.
Yeah.
So if I had printed this one, I may have noticed the two circles, which I've only just noticed now because you've said it.
Fabulous.
And this one, I think this one might have been used for something as well. I can't quite remember now.
Mm-hmm.
But the afternoon light in that little spot there in Flinders Lane is always pretty cool to shoot in.
I remember you taking that one, Ushi.
Sorry?
I remember you taking that one.
You remember me taking that one?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, it's cool when we all go, and it's good when we all go and shoot together. It's interesting because we can all be in the same spot and taking virtually the same photo, but we all capture something different, which is the fantastic thing about photography, because whilst we might shoot the same scenes, we all bring our own little whatever to an image, I think.
Definitely.
This one, I was just trying to channel a little bit of humour and a bit of Saul Leiter here. I thought it was quite funny that she was stepping into that ice cream there on the ground. Again, I love hand gestures. I think I shot two. I've got another photo of this where she's actually holding her phone in her hand and her bag and her keys, I think. But I quite like this shot that I took of her as well, just because of her her hands and her manicured nails and the ring, and of course his pants all ripped there in the car.
It's very Rennie Ellis for me.
Wow, oh, that's a bit of a compliment. He, good old Rennie Ellis, he got out and about a little bit around Melbourne back in the day.
Well, definitely.
So the other version of that image, Ushi.
Sorry?
The other version of that image was in last year's sit home.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you've got a good memory, Em.
Well, I claimed it.
You're all over it. And this one I really like. I saw this woman walking across the concourse, and I loved her pink hair. I thought, oh, I've just got to take a photo of that with the pink and the blue. And then I followed her down like a stalker. Followed her down the escalator there, and I took a photo of the back of her hair, and I thought, yeah, it's just a photo. It's just a photo of the back of somebody's head. But then she made that gesture with with her hands to her head, and that was it for me. That was what really brought it to life for me. Again, I don't know whether it's actually legal to be photographing down there, but I just had to take it. It's one of my personal faves. There's just sort of something that reminds me of, again, like a movie, North by Northwest, or something like that.
Sure. There's a few street photographers that talk about fishing or following. Would you say you're one or the other, Ushi, or you employ both methods?
No, look, I'm actually a little bit of both, I think. Sometimes if I see a bit of light and I think, oh, that could, use a human element in it, then I might wait for something to happen or for somebody to come through. But quite often I might just react to something that I see. Again, like this woman, I thought she needs to be caught on film or caught digitally. Yeah, so it depends on the moment, Sue. It really just depends where I am, what I'm doing, how I'm feeling. Yeah, so all of the above.
Yeah. Where the light is, where the shadows are.
Yeah, exactly. And this is sort of a bit different for me. This is sort of quite dark and quite graphic. This was, I think, at Southern Cross Station, and I just love the way the light was sort of happening there. And this is one of those moments, Sue, where I saw the light, I saw the graphic. It almost reminded me of a snake or something like that. And I just waited for somebody to come down the escalator just to fill that space, to give it some, to give it a bit of meaning and to give it a story.
Absolutely. It's fabulous.
Thank
Love
you.
the colour, how it goes from the green into the yellow.
Yeah, that's sort of what caught my eye initially. But it did. It needed the human element to be in there to make it any sort of image for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, this was I think this was up in Sydney just recently. Just loved the way the light was dancing through there. I think there was a station, as I remember, near Wynyard Station, I think it was. And then this woman was coming through, and I just loved the way her red pants were just glowing in the light. And I also loved the way that the top part of her is all black and it's set against the white of the wall there.
Yeah, absolutely. She really stands out. And her pants, you're right, they're glowing.
I know, they're a bit out there, aren't they? I wish I could rock something like that.
Fantastic.
And this is another more recent image. I think it was the afternoon, and I just loved the way the red. I think it was a wall inside the building, and there was a whole lot of shadow and light dancing on it, and that's sort of what attracted me at first. And this woman, she had light just so beautifully on her, and again, she was just in her own little world there. And this part of the image was already a little bit cooler, but I just tweaked the blue a little bit just to balance it with the red a little bit more. And I love the way her sash was sort of going in line with the column there.
Oh yeah.
So again, there's a bit of reflection going on there, a bit of window, everything.
Definitely. Lots of geometry happening.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit of a geometry girl, which is quite funny because I wasn't very good at it at school. Maths, geometry, counting. No. Not for this little black duck. And this one again, a recent one down at South Bank. I was walking past this group of young girls, and she stood out for me because one, I love a good bag, and I spotted this bag in the sunlight, and I loved the chain and the whole coolness of her vibe, and of course the cigarette and the phone. And so I just basically, I didn't want the whole of her. I just wanted to focus in on the bag, the cigarette, and the way the light was dancing on it there.
Definitely. Even in the background, Ushi, I love how the white strips on the ground are creating almost like arrows to actually bring your attention.
Back down to her knee there. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm just looking at this image now, and there's like a little bit of rubbish down there, which I wish wasn't there, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Thank you. This is another recent one, again playing with reflections and just sort of creating a bit of another world feel, trying to channel a bit of Saul Leiter. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like an image within an image within an image.
Within an image.
Yeah.
Bit more bang for your buck, basically. Yeah, so that's basically the ones that I've chosen for the colour.
Ushi, you recently had an exhibition with your industrial landscapes. Do you have some of those images to share?
Oh, I might just have. So again, these are very, very different. So with these ones, I do sell them through a couple of online art places, but the feature mainly painting, but they do sell photography as well. So I occasionally sell one through there, but there's a fair bit of, I don't know. No, actually, I'll go into the Jeff's printing. Sorry, guys. So something like this, which I've done. Go full screen. So I love creating these landscapes that they're a bit surreal.
Fantastic. So are they composites or are they
No, this is straight.
Wow.
This is straight how I saw the scene.
So you can see how
I've cleaned up the image a little bit. I've cleaned a bit of stuff off the back of the I think it was a water tank or something, and there was a few sort of little yucky bits on it, which I've sort of cleaned up a little bit just to make it a bit more surreal.
You've certainly got the flat colours and the tones that I feel like a Jeffrey Smart.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's really that's very flattering, because I do love my Jeffrey Smart, and just sort of little scenes like this.
Wow.
And yeah, so there's.
Show us the pink wall.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Show us the pink wall with the walk sign.
The pink wall.
Oh.
There it is.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
The which one?
The pink wall with the yellow walk sign.
The pink wall with the yellow. Oh, this one.
That one. That was that one. Ah, so good.
So again, this isn't manipulated. It's just straight out of camera. My eye just gets drawn to these scenes that I don't know, these graphic scenes. Again, my love of Jeffrey Smart's images. I went to see his exhibition recently, and it was quite interesting to see the way his painting started, which were totally different to all the graphic stuff that that he did eventually. So yeah, I'm drawn to these urban sort of scenes as well as night. And then this particular one, I loved the way the light was sort of happening on the day there.
Do you have a colour that you're drawn to in the urban landscape, Ushi?
No, not really. I think I'm just drawn to shapes more than anything, shapes and shadows. So that was taken with an iPhone. I couldn't get out of the car fast enough to get that shot before the light went. Yeah, so
fantastic.
again, it's just a real counterbalance to what I do with street and people.
Right.
Yeah. So in 2017, I heard of I'd actually heard of the 24-hour project much earlier than that, and had always wanted to join in. And I thought, oh, geez, there's just no way I can stay up for 24 hours. You know, I think I was pushing late 50s at that stage already, and I thought, no, there's no way this little old woman can get out there for 24 hours and still be alive at the end of it. And so I didn't do it for the first couple of years that I'd known about it. And then 2017, I really wanted to do it, and I pushed myself to do it. So for people that don't know what the 24-hour project is, I don't know if we got time to obviously chat about it still. Don't
Absolutely.
know how we're going for time. So the project is the brainchild of a Peruvian photographer by the name of Renzo Grande. He now resides in New York. Started it, I think, in 2012 with a friend of his. They basically just wanted to compare each other's cities. I think Renzo was in New York. His friend was in LA, and they basically just wanted to compare cities for 24 hours. And that first year, I think there was about 65 photographers that they got together to do it, and from there it's grown exponentially to this amazing event that occurs once a year. It generally happens in the midst of our winter, which is a bit of a bugger. But it's wonderful. It basically is, it's a project to document humanity, just to make a difference, to raise awareness for global issues, and empowering local NGOs around the world. This year, it's a place by the name of Yonton Te. I think it's a little farming collective in Chiapas in Mexico. So basically, what they're doing is trying to promote permaculture and sustainable living for the local community. So there's always a really fantastic cause that is helped out each year. Renzo chats with each particular NGO and then decides who's going to who we're going to sponsor each particular year. What else can I tell you? So basically, it is a project where you take one image every hour, post it to social media, basically just documenting the city that you live in. It's exhilarating, it's tiring, it's very, very rewarding. And I encourage anybody, wherever you are, in whatever city, whether you're in one of the capital cities or whether you're in a country town, just go out and do it. It is just awesome. The first time I did it, 2017, I think, I didn't think I'd get through, but I'm so glad I pushed on because it was just so rewarding. So I'll show you some of the images, or just a couple of the images from over the last couple of years. So this first one that I did in 2017, again, I just did the whole thing with an iPhone. And again, the images, resolution-wise, they're not that fantastic because I've had to pull them off Instagram. So this is somewhere in Melbourne, don't ask me where, but I kind of liked the way she became this ghostly figure in the middle of the night.
More importantly, Ushi, what time was it?
Oh, don't. You were probably there with me, Emma.
I don't know whether I was. Was I 2017?
I can't remember. Hang on. I could probably tell you because I'd have to look it up on my phone. Can I get back to you?
3 small hours.
My people will get back to your people and let you know. And this one again, I think it looks like it might be in Burke Street again. I don't know what time. Again, all iPhones. So this is still from 2017. Again, this is going back to my days of shooting on the iPhone with my little hipstermatic. Does some really beautiful. I love the black and white that you get, and this scene again just reminds me of an old film. So this might have been the following year already. Obviously, it has to be because it's in colour. So these are just random ones that I've pulled just to show you the sort of stuff that we shoot during the night and during the day.
So Ushi, images caught on camera, I mean, of course they're caught on a camera, but I mean, can you use a camera or an iPhone? Does it matter?
You can use whatever, as long as you've got a way to download your photos from your camera to your phone to upload it onto your Instagram, and then they get shared through the night, and quite often they will be then re-highlighted on the 24-hour project pages as well.
And do people need to sign up?
Yeah, you do register. So I can give you that address afterwards if you like.
I've put it in the chat.
I'll pop it.
Website. No, I already have.
Just remind me. Yeah. So basically, you don't.
I've already put it in the chat.
The full 24 hours. It's not mandatory at all.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just want to do the daylight hours, it does get pretty tiring during the night. There's not a lot that goes on. Well, there probably is, but you don't want to be amongst some of it. and last year I was living in Castlemaine, so a small country town of about 5,000 people or something. So it was a bit of a challenge. There was a few images that didn't even have people in them. So
you had much greater range than we did, Ushi.
Yes.
But it was great because
we were in 5-kilometre lockdown.
Sorry?
We were in 5-kilometre lockdown.
That's right. Well, so was I. I was in 5 kilometres as well up in Castlemaine. But the beauty of it was, even though you guys were in Melbourne and I was in Castlemaine, it was great that we all still were connected through our little WhatsApp, and we each,
Definitely.
helped each other out and got each other through the long night and the day.
Oh,
So
wow.
this one was, I don't know, Melbourne somewhere.
Going in for a 2 a.m. drink, was it, Ushi?
Sorry.
Going in for a 2 a.m. drink, was it?
Yeah, must have been. Yeah, lots of coffee going on. I don't know whether any alcohol was had, but I think I might have. I think I could have used a G&T at one stage.
And so this year, do you have ideas on how it will run? Like, will you be in Melbourne?
No, actually, so I was hoping to be in Melbourne, but it just turns out that they've decided to hold it in September this year. So I'm going to be up in Broken Hill on the day of the event, but it's not going to stop me from doing it, because I'm going to be surrounded by a whole town full of drag queens. So I'm going to be looking forward to maybe getting some pretty groovy shots up in Broken Hill.
I'm guessing you're going to be shooting colour that day, not black and white.
I think colour is going to be the the order of the day. Look, I still occasionally shoot in black and white now, but most of it, funnily enough, is colour. Thanks to Julia and Rebecca, who sort of got me shooting colour. So this was one of the ones from about 3 or 4 years ago. This mother and daughter were really cute. So they were taking photos at the booth, and then I think they came out, and there was a few of us together, and we started chatting to them, and they were really cool. Excuse me. And I think this one was. So what happens is the 24-hour project also does some exhibitions over. I think this image went to Mexico, went to Iran, and I think it went to New York as well. So what the 24-hour project does also is it holds exhibitions, again, just to bring light to the NGOs that they're supporting during the year. So this year the theme is going to be climate action. So it's very timely. So basically, we're sort of hoping to get images that reflect on something, your interpretation of something to do with climate action. Doesn't have to be, but obviously it's great if we can do that. This again was looking like it might have been shot later in the night in the rain. I think you might have been there with me, Em, for this one.
Yeah, I think
we're all getting pretty wet at one stage.
Or 19.
Yep, another rainy night. That's the problem with we've always seemed to have a 24-hour project when it's been the depths of winter here in Australia or in the southern hemisphere. So having it in September this year, I think is kind of nice. This one was the one in Castlemaine. That was my very first image at midnight. This young woman was waiting at the train. I think she was the only person around in Castlemaine on that night. So I had to get I had to get a little bit creative last year, because it was there was just nobody around. Well, this guy was around. This was during the day, though. And this is what I mean about having to get really creative last year, because honestly, it was peeing with rain for most of the night. There weren't people
That looks like
around.
11 p.m.
I think I shot this from the car. So again, there's no, although it's great to have people in the photos, it doesn't, it's not mandatory that every single photo needs to have a person in it. But obviously, the idea is to document humanity. So obviously, the having people in there is a better option. But tough times call for tough measures. But I was quite proud that I somehow managed to, in this little country town, finish the whole 24 hours, and probably 70 to 80% of my photos had people in them, which was great.
Well done. I remember last year doing my first 24-hour project, and at 2 a.m. there weren't many people around, so I was taking photos of telephone booths.
Yeah.
and empty service stations.
But I think it kind of forces you to be a little bit creative too, and I think that's the beauty of the 24-hour project, because it forces you to go out and shoot rather than just waiting for something to happen. You've got to go out and look for it, and
Definitely.
and stay awake during that. And,
yeah. Well, I think too, like for me, it was the adrenaline of, oh my God, I need to get a photo. So.
I know. And you think sort of, oh my God, what am I going to do? I posted my photo. What am I going to do for the next hour? But those hours just go by so quickly, as you know.
Oh, it's relentless.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Ushi. That is fabulous. Really appreciate all that information. Do we have any questions for Ushi?
We've got one in the chat from Mike Reed.
Oh, okay. Where's that one?
It's from it was from fairly early on. I think it was just after you were talking about your black and white images, and he was asking, have you tried film and larger format?
Do you know what? Just recently, thanks for the question, Mike, is it? Sorry, I couldn't hear properly. Is it Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. Look, I'd love to do some film. My early days back at the newspaper, we did, it was all film. We developed and shot and developed our own film, and I used to love getting into the dark room and just watching that bit of paper start to develop, and it was great fun. So I'd love to get back to film, but obviously, and large format too. I've got an old Rolleiflex camera, which I'd love to take out for a spin one day, but it would be nice to develop myself, but I just don't think I have enough room here in our little abode to put up a dark room as well. It's already brimming. The garage is already brimming with canvases and stuff, because I do a bit of painting as well. So I think hubby would just roll his eyes if I wanted to put a dark room in there as well. But yeah, no, answering your question, I'd love to go back and do a bit of film. I think film forces you to slow down a bit. Back in the day when you had 12 or 24, 30, even 36 rolls, they were like gold. You didn't want to waste anyone, because they cost a lot of money to shoot and to get developed.
Yeah. A couple more questions from Kevin B. I think Kevin's asking, are you going to be in the exhibition? Assuming, Kevin, that you mean Sitar, the upcoming exhibition. Have you got?
No,
Ushi?
No, I didn't put anything in this year. I think time just got away from me this year. We've been busy with so many other things, moving and work and stuff. So I just didn't even have time to to get anything done, which is pretty slack of me because I'm married to a printer, you know, so I have an in-house printer, so I could have just sent them something to get done, but no, I'd love to be in it again next year, but no, this year I didn't enter anything.
Never mind. Tommy Backus would like to know if you have a favourite lens.
A favourite lens? Wow. What iPhone? What lens do I have on my iPhone? Look, generally it's a 24. I've got a Leica, which is a full frame. I think Sue, you would know. Is it the 20? Is it 24?
28.
28. Yeah. So that's a true 28. And that's generally what I shoot with. I've also got a Nikon, which is a 24 to 70, but generally I keep it down towards the, you know, the wider, the larger.
And Julia, who is with us today, said she might actually consider doing 24-hour project this year, and the Broken Hill will be a fabulous place to be.
Hang on, Julia. Which Julia? I can't see.
Me, Julia.
Julia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Julia, now that you've put it out there, this is being recorded, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, Julia, okay, so if anybody is really keen to join, and I really would love everyone to get involved in this. One, it's a great cause. It also is for just great personal satisfaction and just the feeling that you've achieved it is just something really, really cool. And I'd love everybody to at least give it a go. It's not mandatory to do the whole 24 hours. But if you want to do it, if you hop onto the website, which is 24hourproject.org. So if you sign up, you can join us. We'd love to see you there, Julia, and anybody else that's on the chat. Sorry, I can't see anybody's faces because I've got my screen up here.
You can stop presenting
as well, because I can't see myself either, which is a good thing.
Ushi, you can stop presenting if you want, and that way you'll be able to see us.
No. I don't even know how to stop now. Sorry. I'm just going to leave it. I don't know how to stop.
Would you like me to stop it?
Could you?
Probably.
Yeah, probably good. Yeah, because I'd like to see you all now that I've shown you my images.
Okay. There we go.
No.
Yeah, whoosh.
No, I can still see my Lightroom. Hang on, I'm going to quit Lightroom.
You can. We can't.
Oh, God, go away. Not you guys, my Lightroom. Yeah, so Julia, I hope you'll join us. And again, as I said, anybody else that's out there and watching. And again, I just wanted to say thank you. I was just so nervous to do this because I absolutely hate talking about myself. That's why I take photos, because I'm not a good speaker. I don't think I'm terribly eloquent, but I do love to try and tell a story with my images. And I thank you all for listening and putting up with me for, I don't know, an hour or so.
Thanks, Ushi. Really appreciate it. We'll hand back to Russell.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Ushi. That was
I can
brilliant.
see you, Julia. Hi.
Yeah, I got a bit of a reputation for asking the hard-hitting questions, so I guess I like to finish up with the question. So I guess
Okay.
Yeah. So my question is, what attracted you to Angus Young? Was it the school uniform, the shorts? I mean,
you know, here's a story. I think it was just the school uniform. I don't know. I have to share this. I was so in love with him that we used to go and visit him and his brother Malcolm and Bon Scott when they used to live at a little motel called the Freeway Gardens, which was right at the start of the freeway in Parkville. I don't think the motel's there anymore, but we used to go and hang out with them, and I was so in love with him. And I used to scratch his little thing into my arm with a compass, and then go out in the sun. So it would, so I'd get tanned and then scratch it off. There you go. Now you know something about me that.
Oh, that's
really
brilliant.
Want to know.
Thank you kindly for sharing that, and thank you for your time tonight, Ushi. On behalf of the AASPI members and everyone else who has joined us online tonight, I'd like to thank you for your fantastic presentation. So, yeah, well done.
Thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, if people want to check out more of your work, if you want to recommend an Insta feed or a website or something like that you.
So I've got a website. It's just ushigrant.zenfolio.com, I think. And then most of my work's on Sombra y Luz, and I also do a Sombra y Luz urban as well.
Suze, you want to say something? No, you're raising
Sorry?
your hand. Oh, that's okay. All right. Okay. Well, thanks. Yeah. If you have a look at our Instagram account, we have a link to your Insta feed as well. So, and if you Google your name, there's a heap of stuff that come up. That's why I asked. I just thought that you might have had one that you wanted to plug. But that's fantastic. Okay. So in just a little over 2 weeks, we'll be opening Shot in the Heart of Australia. That's our premier event showcasing the work of AASPI members. And if you're exhibiting and you have not submitted your image details, please do ASAP, as we need this information to collate the catalogue and also use this info to determine the gallery hanging space. That'll make Steve, our spaceman, really happy. So please note there's a date change for our opening event. This will be now on Thursday the 28th. It's starting at 7 p.m. So yeah, if you can't remember that, you can check out our social feed. There's details there. You can also revisit this on or any of this tonight's presentation on AASPI YouTube channel. So
Looking forward to coming and seeing it all.
Are you going to come down to the opening?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Awesome.
I'm only an hour up the road now, so.
Can I just make a quick correction? The opening starts at 6:30.
Was it 6:30?
6:30. Yeah.
Did that say that on the Instagram feed?
It does now.
Okay. All right, thank you. Well, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed tonight, and I hope it served as some sort of inspiration to get you creative out on the streets with your cameras. Sign up and do the 24-hour project as well. So,
absolutely.
Okay. That's it for tonight.
And if you've got any questions about it, shoot me a DM on my Instagram, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
There you go. All righty. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and hope to see you out on the streets. All righty.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Good
Happy
night.
shooting, everyone. Bye.